Hi there, this is Teresa Eicher with Counseling and Wellness Services of Archibald. We are in partnership with Jill Holgrave Wellness Consulting. And as we come up into this time of year, we have a holiday approaching, and it oftentimes kind of leads me to a place where I pause and maybe do a bit of reflection. Just some reflection on the idea of sacrifice. And the fact that each one of us makes sacrifices each day for people that we care about, people that we interact with, people that we love. And yeah, also people many times routinely make sacrifice for us in our own lives. And so I just think it's really important to, take a moment, pause, do some reflection, and allow yourself to, really think about and understand how people might be stepping into you and how people might be making sacrifice for you. So often our days are busy and we can get caught up in the day to day that we might, just struggle to pause and, express gratitude towards the people around us. Maybe not even just expressing gratitude, but pausing and just recognizing what they do for us and how they impact our lives. And so, when I think about this and doing that pause and doing that reflection, I think about who I come into contact in my day to day with. And so whether that is just, the people that I live with, and so whether that's family or a roommate or some other situation, whether that is, my coworkers or, the different people and the different roles that they possess at work and how that relates to me and doing my job and the ease of my job or the complexity of my job. I think about, people who walk alongside of me every day. So the people that seek me out and reach out to me and check in on me, and the people that I seek out and I check in on. I think about different organizations or clubs, but, activities that I make contact with other people on the day to day or the week to week or the month to month. It's these people who many times we can so easily maybe take a bit for granted. And just being intentional and just doing that pause and reflecting on, okay, what is their impact on me? Like day to day, what does that look like? What does their sacrifice look like for me? And I get it, right? Like, I think so often when we walk with someone day to day and we're interactive in groups with people, it's not always this, smooth process. The truth is that the more we do life with someone, typically the more layers there are in that relationship, the more complex that relationship may be. And so you might look at it and you might say, yeah, like there's sacrifice in this. And yet maybe there's also hurts or maybe there's pain in that as well. I realize that some of that might be like very deep rooted pain. And so, no desire to minimize that or negate that. And yet, I also believe at times that, two things can be opposing but true. And so a relationship might be complex, and yet an individual might be sacrificing for you and also doing good for you. And so, just a moment to take, reflect, and think about, what's the positive in this? How has this person, positively impacted me? How has this person sacrificed for me? And just thinking about, even considering like once we understand that sacrifice, once we understand that impact, reaching out to them, whether it's a phone call, whether it's a text message, maybe it's a face-to-face conversation, but just having a willingness to say, thank you, I see you. So often as I work with people, they talk about the sacrifices that they make in their lives and not always feeling seen or appreciated in that. And while, in living with people, in doing life with people, we can't always expect a thank you. On occasion, gratitude and thank yous are really nice. So I just encourage you, let's pause, let's do some reflection, Let's understand those sacrifices. Let's understand the impact, and let's reach out. Let's say thank you. Let's acknowledge them. And I think what you might find is that it's a great way to also invite happiness into your own life. So often when we have the opportunities to, share our experience with someone, it's an opportunity to connect, and it's an opportunity to invite happiness and love into our lives. So with that, I hope however you may be celebrating this holiday, you have a good one. And I will talk with you soon.